What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. They had their earnings first thing. It's been kind of a roller coaster since that did happen. I want to go over some of the key highlights that you need to know and just the general data points that everyone knows and loves. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is up slightly, 1.19%. Low today of $4.31, high of $4.84. So a lot of kind of volatility. I'm going to go over the technicals near the tail end. That'll make a little bit more sense, but 76.3 million for volume, 57.3 is the average. So essentially when it comes to their earnings, they did state some key things. So starting off, going over here, they did miss on, or kind of in line with their earnings per share. Relatively good stuff for that. Revenue was more of a miss. They did state in Q4 they're expecting deliveries between the 72 and 75,000. Margins did improve, so 13.1, and as I've stated, that was going to be a key one that you really needed to watch for it to be roughly above like 11 and a half. So very, very good stuff in that regard. So in my opinion, that and just the future guidance, that's kind of what is saving it. They did reiterate between 10,000 units for December, 20,000 units for March for Onvo. They did state and reconfirmed about the Firefly is going to be making its debut on December the 21st. And just overall right here, this is probably what caused initially some sell-off, but just total revenue, vehicle sales were both down on a year-over-year basis, so not the best, but like I said, I think they did reconfirm future guidance, a lot of high expectations for that. They did also state in between 2024 and 2025 transitioning, they do anticipate to be doubling the sales, so a lot of high expectations, and that's exactly what the market wants to hear, right? So that's why I feel it is somewhat kind of getting bought up, largely by algorithmic trading, as I shared with you in the past, but these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market. So you are seeing a string of buying. So a lot of these buys right here is kind of what brought it up. So kind of a good thing. You did have one sell first thing for 112, but good amount of buying regardless. So this is a nice change of events from what it has been. Whether it does continue, that's anyone's guess if it does continue into the following days, but like I said, I think this is relatively good stuff. Aside from that though, shorts are really calling BS on NIO, so they're increasing 3.47 million shares. 14.98% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 200.1 million shares overall are being shorted. This did pop up, so you are seeing some signs of manipulation. Cost to borrow minimum is negative, so negative 0.2%. That is an annual rate, so nothing really crazy, but the fact that they're actually someone's paying to short or paying people to short NIO is kind of crazy if you think about it. So let me know your thoughts on that. Of course, they didn't have a mother of all short squeeze like people did anticipate, but I think just their earnings was somewhat mixed. Like I said, I think just the overwhelming amount of positives for the foreseeable future is kind of outweighing the immediate negatives, but I did kind of vaguely go through this. So this was the transcripts. Regrettably, I didn't actually listen to the earnings call itself. So I'll go over this and see if there was any other highlights that I wanted to, that maybe people need to be aware of. But if there is anything that stands out to you other than some of the key points that I brought up, let me know in the comments below. But aside from that though, moving over to options, 6.43 million in calls, 5.13 million in puts. So kind of low dollar value in comparison to what it normally is. So nothing really crazy for that, even though you are seeing a bump up in the common stock. But 54% of all the options being done so far today are bearish, mostly at the very beginning of the day when it was kind of down in the dumps. But of the call options that are being purchased, you're seeing a consensus for it to be roughly around that 5 to 550 in the foreseeable future. So relatively good stuff for that. And then on the puts, people are anticipating for it to be sub roughly 450-ish, partially around the 4. So a lot more kind of upside still is anticipated, and that was exactly how it was kind of before the earnings as well. So let me know your thoughts on that. No matter what though, when it comes down to options, it is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. But quickly going over here, I'll share this with you. So looking at the technicals, on the 4 hour. So right now with it at $4.69, it is exactly on this pivot. So definitely needs to watch where it does close, whether it's above it or below it. But $4.36 is a strong support. Kind of obviously bounced off of that general area today, so going forward we do know that's a strong support. And right now, like I said, it's kind of just flirting with this pivot point. We'll just have to wait and see if it does close above or below, but 503, 523, and then 556 are going to be the following kind of targets for NIO. Moving over to IBKR, you see it is above the ALMA, so still kind of reconfirming the last couple of trading days. It wants to move up. I think it just needs more buying coming from large entities, but we'll just have to wait and see. Some additional points as well. So that 100 and also 200-day moving average. So these two lines right here, $4.93 and $4.99. Both are going to be kind of resistance levels that you'll want to watch for NIO to get above. But as what we've seen in the past, NIO, when it wants to go up, it does very, very fast. So as far as new analyst ratings, I'll give you an overview. Only 2 did come out, so I anticipate a lot more, because typically you get around like 6 to 8 new analyst ratings. So most likely a lot of them will come probably after hours today, or if not tomorrow. One was a downgrade for $4.80 by Macquarie Eugene, who has a 86% success rating. So for an analyst covering EVs to have that rating is deserving of a round of applause, but they are rather bearish on NIO. Like I said, downgrade, $4.80 price target. You also had a buy, $6.10 by Morgan Stanley Tim, who has a 39% success rating. So not the best. Most likely that individual needs to stop what they're doing and go work at McDonald's. But like I said, I think just a lot of articles are coming out all about just kind of the high expectations for the future, just summarizing kind of a lot of the key points that I brought up. So if there's anything that stands out to you, like I said, just drop a comment in the description below. But as of right now, it is rather interesting to see shorts still very, very active, trying to suppress NIO. Once again, maybe just break it on a technical level, but this is why I've stated in the past the fact that what happens operationally does not always jive and coincide with the stock price. So sometimes it's just going to be apart, and most likely once they do obtain profitability, that's where they'll align a little bit more. If you are patient, then it'll pay off, in my opinion. But until then, you're going to have a lot of this kind of weird manipulation where you have brokers paying people to short NIO and then just shorts continuously just hammering it down. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing I wanted to share with you. I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto as well. All absolute bangers, so they are hitting home runs. This is one I did put out yesterday. It's up 17% because of the technicals, so Mera, and honestly there's many more like this, so definitely pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching.